Hey, happy Friday, everyone. The end of the week is here. The weekend is upon us. Another weekend in July, and it's a beautiful day. Hope you are having a good day. And this is In the Raw, unscripted, unpracticed, unedited conversation. We've been talking about a fresh start. What does that mean to have a fresh start in our lives? And we've taken the life of Isaiah, or a point in the life of Isaiah, found in the book of Isaiah, chapter 6. And we've been using that as a basis to what we are talking about, what we've been talking about in the fresh start. So we're talking, the last video, we talked about the different things that we need to do if we want a fresh start, the different steps we need to take, right? And the first step was be willing to go through pain, right? If you want a fresh start, you need to be willing to experience pain. The second step, or the second thing that we want to take to do if we want a fresh start, we need to recognize that it's all about God. That's the second thing we need to do. We need to recognize that it's all about God. And that's what Isaiah's vision included. The dramatic clarity of God's majesty and God's holiness. As Isaiah describes God, he says, I saw the Lord seated on a throne, high and exalted, I saw the Lord seated on a throne, high and exalted, and the train of his robe filled the temple. He's explaining and he's describing, and he goes on to say, and they were calling together, holy, holy, holy is the Lord Almighty. He's describing the celestial beings that were there, and they were calling him. The whole earth is full of his glory. So this tells us that it's all about God. It's all about him. Personally in my life, I know that when I identify my pain, what it does, it brings me to a place where I begin to think about God and the need for him. I began to think, I need God. I have a need for him. This pain is not going to go away until I fulfill it with my need for God. I begin to think about his presence, his greatness, his glory, his holiness. And what happens in that moment when I start thinking about those things is that it becomes the motivator for me to change. When I realize it's all about God. I don't want to live this pain anymore. So it's because of God that I actually can change. It's not because of my own strength. It's not because of my own intellect. It's not because of my own ability. It's because of God that I can change. And I think this is where a lot of people go wrong. They identify their pain, but instead of saying, it's all about God, they say, it's all about self-help. I just need to read a new self-help book. I just need to attend a seminar. I just need to watch a little more talk shows that talk about self-help. I just need some motivational podcasts. What they do is they realize that there is pain. They do have pain, but they say, I'm tired, I'm lonely, I'm overweight, I'm relationally damaged or financially strapped, and they recognize their pain and they know that something needs to change, but they turn to the wrong stuff. They turn to the wrong stuff. And how many times have we done that? How many times have we turned to the wrong stuff? And sometimes, the wrong stuff, it will not help us. It will affect us, especially if you turn to an addiction. You turn to something that will cause an addiction, to soothe the pain, right? So making life-altering changes isn't going to last without God. It's not a true fresh start. A fresh start happens because of God. A fresh start happens because we bring him into the picture. God isn't just one of the motivators, for a fresh start. In Isaiah's vision, he's saying it's all because of God. It's because of God that I don't want to waste my life. It's because of God that I need to change. It's because of God that I want to change. It's because of God that I will change. It's because of God that I can change. It's because of God that I don't want to settle for a mediocre, average, powerless love. Because God changes everything. And so here's the question, because I said, we're talking about things that we must do, but we also need to answer these questions. And here's the question: who is my God? Who is my God? Is it, who do I consider my God? Is my God a God with a capital G, or is my God a God with a lowercase g? Right? A little bit of grammar here that we need to understand, right? And this is a fair question for everybody here, for everybody to listen. We all worship something in our lives. If you don't worship the God of the Bible, you will still have some other God with a lowercase g that you will worship, right? And it's going to be the source and object of your attention. It's your primary passion. It may be your job, it may be a relationship, it might be a possession, it might be a pursuit. But if you've never stopped to identify who is the center of my life, you might consider asking yourself the question, who is my God? Because if it's not all about God, it's about something. It's going to be about something. Then my question is that something strong enough to give you the fresh start that you want? Think about it, right? Think about it. Isaiah said it's all about God. Holy, holy, holy. The whole earth is full of his glory. Is that the God that he's referring to? Is that the God that is the author of the fresh starts? I think so. All right. Well, I hope you have an amazing rest of your day, a great weekend, and we will talk to you soon.